indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Mendez. Mayor's announcements. David Brock, you have a birthday coming up, or when is your birthday? It's today.
It is today.
Well, happy birthday. We don't have a card for you. There will be one floating around tomorrow. So be sure you sign it.
Belated
And it's with a heavy heart that we say goodbye to Mr. Klinkenbeer. This is his last meeting today. Appreciate your service, sir. You've done a good job for the city. We appreciate all you've done. We do have a presentation to make for you. Where do you want to do this, Miss Brenda? Over there? You'd like to come this way, or you can go that way, whichever way you want to go. I think I got it.
Going this way?
Yeah, watch that cord there.
Cord here.
Whoops. Watch the cord. I'll be careful with it. Hold on to that first. Flag, one of the old flags from the city. And the plaque in appreciation for your dedicated service and representing the citizens of the Republic as a council member.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I won't trip you this time.
Don't believe it.
How long have you been on the council, Mr. Klinkenbeer?
A little over 5 years.
I'll put this over here if that's okay,
It's
sir.
hard to believe it's been that long.
And he has requested a few minutes of our time. We're going to go on ahead and let Mr. Klinkenbeer make an address.
I wanted to thank a couple of people. Well, I guess I'd like to thank a lot of people, but first I want to thank my wife and my son who are in attendance tonight. It's our families that make a lot of sacrifices when we come to meetings and answer phone calls from citizens and things, and I appreciate family allowing me to be able to do this. Sorry, I didn't know it'd be this emotional.
Here.
I was told when I first came to my first meeting that they generally ran about an hour and a half to 2 hours. And my wife came with my 6-week-old son and sat out front, and I was to text her when they were going to swear me in. And about 30 minutes later, after an extremely long presentation, and that's David's fault, I think, so she can kick him. At that point, she had to go on home because he was so young. And 3 hours and 15 minutes later, after an executive session, the longest, and plus I was here an hour early to talk to the mayor, so it was probably the longest meeting that I had the entire 5 years. But she was at home and I was unable to reach her, and for people that don't know, I don't drive, and I went out and I was thinking, boy, this is a way to kick it off. No ride, I've been here 3 hours, and a very kind lady offered to give me a ride home, and I thank you very much, Brenda. It doesn't mean as much to other people maybe, but me being able to have a purpose and be able to be on this after I gave up my driving and my business was huge. You guys just don't know. So it's been a real honor to serve and be able to give back to the community that was so good to me all my business years. So thank you very much, and to all the staff and people in attendance back there. I appreciate it.
And we appreciate, again, your service, and it was an honor having you on council. So
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Klinkenbeer. Mr. Smith isn't here because he got married, is that right?
Yeah, someone tricked him into doing that.
So, you see, Mr. Smith, be sure yet to congratulate him on his marriage, wedding. Hopefully it lasts a long time.
That was a little diss at somebody.
And stop.
All right, citizen participation. If anybody out there would like to step forward and give us your best 3 minutes on anything that's not on the agenda. Please step forward, write your name, and give us your best 3 minutes. Seeing none, citizen participation closed. I need a motion and a second for the approval of the consent agenda.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. On to the financial report. Welcome, Mr. O'Donnell.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone, and Jeff, congratulations.
Thank you.
Good luck to you. I trust everybody received their copies of the June financial reports, albeit it's finally got out the door today. However, that's what happens when you have a holiday in between. Just have a few brief comments. First off, on the unrestricted cash balances report, we decreased by some $634,584 since last month's report, and as you'll see from the notes down at the bottom of the report, we had quite a few major expenditures, including funds dispersed at closing for a land purchase as site for the new City Hall, Midwest Public Risk, the annual premium for property liability insurance, Blevins Asphalt. This was major payments regarding our asphalt paving projects, which had been approved by council resolution. And finally, a semi-annual loan payment of $45,579 that reduced the cash balance in the fire sales tax fund. All told, that was over $842,000, so otherwise we would be at a positive point. So if you're wondering why the cash balance has dropped, we had a few factors coming into play. With respect to the debt outstanding report, we have one more obligation that has been completed, and that was the U.S. Bank loan on the building across the street at 204 North Main. That is now completely paid off. And then, with respect to the year-to-date revenue and expense reports, because of those major expenditures I just mentioned, as you can see, we dipped below this time last year, June of 2015. I am confident we will probably make that up as we move forward. Also, you'll see on the revenue expense report, we added a new column for a capital projects fund. This was to record the accounting transactions relevant to the purchase of that land and its associated costs. Normally, in private sector accounting, that kind of transaction would be between two balance sheet accounts, cash and land. In governmental accounting, it's usually revenues and expenditures for the purchase of the land and the associated costs, revenues representing transfers in from the other funds to supply the funding for paying for the land. So that will be on the report as we move forward. One other point I want to bring up, we just got our figures now for June sales taxes as collected by the Department of Revenue. We had a little bit of a drop. The amount was for June from DOR for the general sales tax is $215,747.25. Now, this time last year, the June 15 sales tax was in the neighborhood of $277,000, and that was probably the highest amount of sales tax collected and remitted in the past several years. So when you're trying to compare to last year, it's a pretty tough act to follow. However, we are still 8.7% year-to-date over 2015, so we're still maintaining even though we had that bit of a drop. Also, fire sales tax was $26,959, which was slightly under 2% less than June of 2015. However, fire sales tax year-to-date is 14.5% to the good. And with that, I will open it up to questions, comments, discussion.
Thank you, sir. Any questions, Mr. O'Donnell? No questions, no discussion? Thank you, sir. I need a motion and a second for the approval of the finance report.
Motion.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 6-0. Reports from staff. Mr. Derrickson?
None.
None? And I would like to welcome David Cameron here and have him give us his report from staff and also an overview of yourself and what you're bringing to say and just a welcome.
Sure, thank you. I'm glad to finally be here. It's been quite a bit of a process and just waiting the anticipation, knowing you're going to come into a new role and just what the city of Republic has to offer. There's a lot of potential. There's a lot of great things I see and when I came to interview, but I appreciate the confidence of the council and the selection committee and the staff. I've been welcomed. My wife and I were here for the Have a Blast celebration, which was outstanding. And so it's been a lot of transition, to be honest with you. There's been a lot going on, but I look forward. I came from Miller. I grew up in Miller. Decided that I wanted to take off and go to the big city of St. Louis for a little while, and then I ended up in Arkansas for the last 17 years, where I was in public administration, dealing with government, started mostly in public works. And so, it was just sensed that the good Lord was shutting one door and opening another. And what they say, where He guides, He provides, and I believe He's provided a staff and a great structure in this community and people that I met in the interview. And so it was just very appealing. And so you offer yourself to that. This group's very accommodating. It was a great process, and just meeting the staff and actually just get a chance to meet with Jared and everybody. It was very welcoming, and I just enjoyed the visit. And so that's our home if they'll have us. And so I appreciate the opportunity. There's a lot of opportunity in Republic, and before I stop, I want to thank the staff for the welcome the community's provided. Have a blast. It's so difficult that was awesome that night. There was the sense of community was overwhelming. Just when you look out there and you see that and the fireworks are going off, that's what it's all about. And so I very much enjoyed that evening. I would like to say the fireworks were in honor of me and my wife coming to town, but they weren't. But it was a great night, and I want to commend the staff for a job well done. That was an incredible night. And so, looking forward to just taking off. I've been looking forward to getting started and taking off and addressing different issues and getting my hands on the city and looking at different opportunities that are out there. And so, last week, I've spent the majority of that time working on projects that are ongoing. And so with OTC, we're going to work on the OTC project. The City Hall building, the next council meeting, we will have some information regarding City Hall. We just need a little more time to present that, get some different options as to what's going on with the financing. There is one large topic that has been ongoing, has been a kind of a noise dispute that has been very pressing on my office, and so I hope to bring a resolution to get with parties. I haven't been so much brought up to speed on all of it, but it's definitely been something I've been asked to make decisions. But it's something that I'm going to engage the council on at the next council meeting to at least hopefully address some language that can help resolve from both sides. And so I'm still looking forward to getting into that, and then just working with staff what the needs are, looking for opportunities for economic development, community development, writing a comprehensive plan or amending the comprehensive plan. You'll hear a lot of those things coming up. And so really just very excited to be here. It's hard not to just want to go and try to change a whole lot of stuff, or not really change it, but address a lot of stuff real fast. So I appreciate all the support and assistance that staff has provided and the welcome that we've received. So looking forward to working with everyone. So if you haven't had a chance to meet me, or you know somebody that would like to, bring a Diet Coke by my office and we'll have a visit. So anyway, thank you for everything.
Thank you. Looking forward to serving with you. Future community events, Mr. Keeling.
Good evening.
Future community events for the remainder of July. July 5th, 12th, and 19th, we offer Arthritis Foundation exercise program. That's at 1:30 p.m. at the Republic Community Center. This coming Saturday, July the 9th, is our electronics collection event. It's from 9 a.m. to noon at the parking lot of the Republic Middle School. This coming Friday evening is our next event at the AMP. Activities begin at 7 o'clock. A number of things to do out there for really people of all ages, including the Discovery Center and the library. The movie Up will begin at 8:45. July 18th through August the 5th, we'll be taking registration for our fall co-ed adult softball and fall men's adult softball leagues. All those games, the co-ed leagues will be played on Thursdays. The men's leagues will be played on Mondays. We begin the season the week of August the 18th. July 22nd through August the 12th is Todd Academy. Todd Academy, that's for ages 2 to 5. That's at 9:30 or 10:45 a.m. and pre-registration is required. And finally, July 28th, senior movie dates at 3 p.m. and the movie is yet to be announced.
Thank you, sir. I'd also like to thank you again for Have a Blast. I've heard a lot of good stuff about Have a Blast. It was
Kudos.
great this year.
Certainly.
You did a great job.
Pass that along to all city departments. That's a city event, and every single department here within the city had a hand in that. But I appreciate that very much.
It was, I've heard nothing but good stuff about that
Thanks,
the
sir.
last week.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. On the Board Commissions Committee schedule, Board of Adjustments, August 4th, Capital Improvements Committee, July 27th, City Council meetings, July 25th and August 8th, Planning and Zoning Commission, July 18th. On the old business and tabled items, I need a motion and a second for the second reading of Bill number 16-10.
Motion?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, approving the replat of lots 2, 3, and 4 of Brookline Business Park Phase 1 and vacating certain general utility easements thereon.
I need a motion and a second for final passage of Bill number 16-10.
Motion?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Overview. Mr. Tyson, welcome.
This bill will, if approved, combine lots 2, 3, and 4 of the Brookline Business Park Phase 1 subdivision, and will also vacate the general utility easements that exist along the property lines that will be dissolved by the combination. So this will be done to accommodate the development of those 3 lots as just one single tract for a single user. Staff is recommending approval of this bill.
Thank you, Mr. Tyson. Any questions or discussion points from council? For Mr. Tyson? Heard all this? No questions for him? Okay, seeing none. Roll call vote.
Councilmember Poole? Aye. Councilmember Mendez?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Councilmember Brashear?
Aye.
Councilmember Jones?
Aye.
Councilmember Wilson?
Aye.
Councilmember Klinkenbeard?
Aye.
Thank you, motion carries. On to new business. Oh, I'm sorry. And at this point, we're going to say goodbye to Mr. Klinkenbeard for the last time. Thank you again, sir, for your service. It's been a pleasure being on council with you, sir.
Good luck.
Nice to meet you.
So don't forget your names, you know who you are.
I'll shake some hands on the way out. I'll give me a
Looks
loop
like
here.
you're going to.
I can do this. Thank you, Brenda. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Take care, everyone.
Watch the cord.
Yeah.
Sir, there you go.
Take care, sir. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, Yeah, I asked them if they could pull that. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. We're kicking out, the police are kicking out.
And on to new business. I need a motion and a second for the first reading of Bill number 16-11.
Motion?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 6-0.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, authorizing the execution of an intergovernmental cooperative agreement with Greene County for road striping services.
Thank you, Brenda. Mr. Brock.
Thank you, sir. Council is aware we recently resurfaced a large section of East Hines Street as well as that portion of Farm Road 174 within the city limits. And as we've done in the past, we'd like to cooperate with Greene County to have the road striping placed. This is a very economical way to have the work done. Typical cost from Greene County comes in about 4.5 cents per foot. Out of the market would probably be somewhere around 7, 8, or 9 cents per foot, depending on the amount of quantity. These type of small jobs is a very good way for our departments to cooperate with one another. Would like to add, we're asking for emergency second read. Council might also be aware they commenced the striping today, and we've asked to, or I've reassured the county that I would deliver a signed copy of the agreement as soon as possible. So we appreciate council's consideration in that regard.
We will consider that. Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Brock? And we say in working in conjunction with the Highway Department, what exactly does Public Works do with that?
Well, actually, it's the county that does it all. They've got a nice restriping machine, computerized control. So on our part, we cut a check for them when the work's done.
So we've got the easy part, right? Or the hard part, depends on how you look at it, I guess. Right. Any other questions for Mr. Brock? Any discussion points? He has requested an emergency second read, so I need a motion and a second for an emergency passage of bill number 16-11.
Motion?
10, I'm sorry.
Second.
No, it's 11. 11? Okay. Thank you. Thank you for correcting my correction. I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Now I need a motion and a second for the second reading of bill number 16-11.
Motion? Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, authorizing the execution of an intergovernmental cooperative agreement with Greene County for road striping services.
I need a motion and a second for final passage of bill number 16-11.
Motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Mr. Brock, welcome back.
Thank you, sir. I do have a short presentation on comparing the cost and durability of waterborne acrylics versus epoxy road paint, if the council would care to hear that at this time.
Mrs. Poole would like to.
I think it's nice that he'll take that time.
Very good.
Work on something like that.
Yep.
And include us.
And include us. So would you like to hear his presentation?
It's about a 30-minute PowerPoint.
I know. Yeah.
He'll provide you a copy.
He can give me a copy of it, but I would sit here and listen 30 minutes. I've listened to a lot less.
a lot longer. Well, moving right along. Any questions for Mr. Brock? And if you do have that information, if you could provide Mrs. Poole, I would like to see that information also too, please.
Should I include manufacturing techniques for reflective glass beads?
No, I've got that. I've got that one.
I do have a semi-serious question.
Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Jones.
I'm assuming the $3,500 or so that this is budget.
It is. It's included in the road project.
Okay. Good answer.
Any other questions for Mr. Brock? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Councilmember Wilson?
Aye.
Councilmember Jones?
Aye.
Councilmember Brashear?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Councilmember Mendez?
Aye.
Councilmember Poole?
Aye.
Motion carries. On to other business. Resolution number 16-R-56. This item has been tabled by staff. Resolution number 16-R-57. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, authorizing the execution of an equipment rental agreement with Murphy Tractor and Equipment Company Incorporated. I need a motion and a second.
Motion. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Overview, Mr. Brock, welcome back. You never did sit down, did you?
I did for a minute. I had to check the numbers. Councilman Jones.
I corrected myself with Charlie after I said that.
Yeah, we expect this to come in probably about 500 or 600. The next two items here, the change out of backhoes, these are kind of it's been a fairly consistent annual process for us. The backhoe for us is similar to a squad car or a fire truck. It's our bread and butter. It's that piece of equipment that you want to know will fire up and get out on the job site when you need it. We have, for the past several years, maintained 2 owned backhoes, and we rent a backhoe. During the recession, we got to a point where we were unable to trade out the backhoes that we owned. We accumulated some depreciation on those units, and we ended up selling one and switching over to a lease, which we've done consistently with a rental agreement with Murphy Tractor since about 2007. And it was simply a strategy not to have all our eggs in one basket, so to speak. The economy's getting better. We've consistently had good offers to trade our owned backhoes in, and I think as we go into the 2017 budget year, we're going to look at ending our rental agreement and go back to a fully owned fleet. But the resolution that you have here is for a 1-year rental for the 4-wheel drive extend-a-hoe John Deere model backhoe. $1,000 a month. This is the first year since we started leasing or renting from them in 2011 that we've seen a price increase. So after 6 years, we've gone from $900 a month to $1,000 a month. Just another chit in the column that says we need to look at owning that piece of equipment.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Brock. Any questions or discussion points for Mr. Brock?
Yeah.
Mr. Shears?
David, what would that model cost if it were purchased? Any idea?
This is a little bigger and more robust machines than the case backhoes in the next item. Those are selling price at $83,000. I would probably peg this closer to $100,000. If we go back and look at ownership, I don't know that we would get this large of a machine, but that's something we'll just have to sort through as we go through budget.
Also, wondering what the rental would be for a year compared to what it would be if you outright bought the machine. Okay.
Good question. Any other questions for Mr. Brock? Mr. Jones?
Does the rental agreement include any maintenance?
It does not. I mean, we do routine maintenance, oil changes, filter changes, those kind of things. But any damage that we do to the equipment, we have to pay to repair.
But anything that was determined as a manufacturer defect is covered up?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Mr. Wilson, you have anything?
Straightforward.
Not forward, huh? Any other questions for Mr. Brock? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Resolution number 16-R-58, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, accepting a sales proposal from Potter Equipment to trade out 2 backhoes. Need a motion and a second?
Motion. Second.
Motion and a second. Mr. Brock.
Thank you, sir. As mentioned previously, that this resolution deals with 2 backhoes that the city owns. The concept is very similar to trading in a new car before you see that first drop in depreciation, and when we're able to, we do this on an annual basis. That's the case this year. We have 2 2015 case backhoes that we are requesting to trade in for 2 identical 2016 year models. The total cost for this transaction is $17,000. We had budgeted in total $29,250 for that purpose.
Very good. questions or discussion points for Mr. Brock on this resolution? Anything at all? Thank you, Mr. Brock. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you.
With that, I'll accept the motion for adjournment. We have no executive session this evening, so I'll accept the motion for adjournment.
Motion?
Motion?
Second.
Second? Roll call vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? You guys want to stick around? Any abstentions? Abstentions? Motion carries, and the meeting is adjourned. Thank you.